Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you may be. This is the Canadian Weasel. We got the generic Canadian, we got
Hey,
me, the Weasel, and we got Wyatt Jones, our special guest this evening.
What's up, guys?
And how's everybody doing?
I'm pretty good.
Pretty good, man. You know, typical Marine Corps life. Kind of want to die. Kind of good, you know.
Always, man. I mean, life's a bit. What can we say, you know? But,
Yeah.
so, Wyatt, you want to tell us about yourself a little bit?
Yeah, man. So, you know, my name's Wyatt Jones. I'm stationed in Hawaii currently in the Marine Corps. I've known Weasel for a little while now. This is my first time hearing the generic Canadian voice. That's pretty cool. But yeah, no, that's pretty cool, man. Learning to do a show where we can do a little chat on, talk some science and nerd shit, music and whatnot.
Yeah, we got some pretty crazy topics, man.
Let's do it.
He's like a really cool dude.
Man, Bitcoin is getting out of
Yeah, man. Hey, it was good talking
That
to
shit
you.
hit
I'll let you
14
go.
grand today or
Good catching
something
you.
like
Yeah,
that.
something like that, yeah.
Holy
When I get
shit,
there,
man,
and we'll
that's
work out a date,
wild.
and I'll have you, come by my
I can't
And so many
believe that.
people that invested like X amount of dollars into Bitcoin like 10 years ago when it was just becoming a thing. These people are millionaires and billionaires now.
Yeah, it's crazy, right? Like 4chan users are suddenly millionaires.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's scary to think about, but also amazing at the same time.
It's pretty. That's heavy. That's heavy shit. You know, it's like just from investing in Bitcoin, you make millions and billions of dollars, and now Bitcoin is funding projects such as Sophia, the AI fucking robot, and all this other stuff. Like, what?
Yeah, man.
Wild, man. And I don't know, dude. Like, you gotta think too. Like, think about the people that invested in Amazon and Google back in like the '90s. You know?
Oh, man.
Mm.
Like
Yeah,
eBay.
imagine. Or like eBay or something. I mean, Bitcoin is actually like a way larger profit margin apparently. But that's still insane to think about. How like one day you can be like, yeah, sure, I'll skip $1,500 into this random upstart project, and then 10 years later you've like $1 billion. It's just insane. Like nothing like that ever happens to me, you know. Like I get up in the dark and fucking run face first into things. Like I don't get shit like $1 billion randomly in my bank account.
I mean, I remember back in the day when I just started getting into PayPal and stuff like that, and like that was around the time that Bitcoin and like stuff like that was actually just coming up. And I mean, I didn't know what Bitcoin was. I never bothered to really go much into it, but it was there, and I could have got it, but I didn't.
Oh man.
And now looking back at it, I wish I actually went into it, but oh well, it's a loss.
Yeah, well, I don't know. The first time I ever heard of Bitcoin, I think, was when the Silk Road went down, and it made like huge like media news. And then and they were like, oh yeah, funding with things such as Bitcoin. I was like, what the fuck is a Bitcoin? Because it was in like high school, so what the fuck is a Bitcoin? And that was research. I was like, internet currency? Is that yeah? Well, that was my thing. I was like, isn't that just like PayPal? Or I don't understand. And that shit's like super intense now. It's this stuff for like crypto mining or whatever and all that type of stuff.
Yeah, cryptocurrency.
Yeah, cryptocurrency. That's wild, man. I can't believe. I'm like, this is the future. We're like flying cars away from being there. Honestly.
Oh man, it's crazy.
We're a Bitcoin away from having flying cars, dude.
Soon enough,
Dude,
we'll be fucking living on Mars.
I don't know, man. Like it's wild. We had. Yeah, I know. Get some of these 4chan Bitcoin millionaires now to fund fucking flying cars. But they funded super advanced AI robots. Why not?
Yeah. First time I heard of Bitcoin was probably, this is actually probably a little ridiculous, but first time I heard of Bitcoin was probably 2 or 3 years ago when it started to gain, a little bit more popularity. It started to be a more regularly used cryptocurrency. And I was looking around online, and at this point, I was kind of a stoner at the time, and I was into experimenting with different things. Of course, I didn't have a lot of money, but I had a little bit of money, and I was reading in some forums, and I wanted to try acid, right? And I had read that you could purchase acid on the black market online with Bitcoin. So at the time, I was like, purchase Bitcoin and get some acid? It's kind of sketchy, but nah. So because, at the time, I didn't know really what it was. I didn't know if it was legit, I was a little younger. I didn't know what any of this stuff really was. So,
Same.
But hey, when you're young and you're looking for some acid, you'll almost do anything. And good thing I didn't. Well, I guess it probably would have been better had I. I could have invested, my $15 and put that into Bitcoin, and it could have been a thousandaire by now,
Yeah, but then all that $1 million would have been spent in like acid.
Yeah, and like a sheet of fucking blotter tabs for LSD would now be worth $14,000 of Bitcoin. Oh my god, I'd be so pissed. That's like having like baseball cards back in the 50s, and then like not realizing. I think that's what Bitcoin is, man. It's just the new version of having like a Mickey Mantle rookie card or something when you were a
pretty
kid.
much.
It's pretty much what Bitcoin is.
To the
Like,
kids
fuck,
nowadays,
man.
yeah, it's that.
We're like, shit, man, I could have had like $1 million off of Bitcoin, but I spent it on Zootopia instead. Like, what? The future's crazy, man.
Shit's wild.
I'm telling you, dude, I want flying cars already, damn it. That's it, dude. We have super AI, we have just mysterious internet data that's somehow worth $14,000. We have Google cars that have taken pictures of like the entire surface of the Earth. The world's about to end in like nuclear holocaust. Can we at least get flying cars first?
And okay, see, we're between the future and the past because we're like, all right, we're so close to having flying cars, yet people still believe the world is flat.
It's incredible. That's like the vaccine people, It's like
it's the Matrix, and we found the glitch. We are the glitch.
Yo, we are the glitch. Yeah, no, we're just somehow importing people from 1831 into fucking real life. They're just like chopping through. We're like getting clipping, and the 1831 people are just like slipping through the wormhole. There's like the Earth is flat. Oh my god, vaccines are terrible. What's polio? That's where, like it's I don't understand people, man. I don't know, guys. Did you guys want to talk about music or something too?
Oh, yeah. So, I don't know. From what I saw, some of the pictures you posted on Facebook, you just got some new guitar gear.
I did get some new gear. I've been investing lately because Guitar Center fucked up and gave me a gear card with like a $5,000 limit. So I, of course, talked myself into buying gear because I can, quote, afford it. And so I bought one of the new Fender Offset Mustangs in shell pink. It's fucking phenomenal. I suggest it. And yeah, I also bought a Sun concert lead. I think it's like a 73, if everything I've looked at is right. It's like a 73 Sun concert lead. It's banged up. I mean, fuck, I paid like $400. But it came with a cab and everything, so I'm not upset about it at all. But that's been a big thing lately, man, is I've just been really trying to get back ingrained, because since I've been in the Marine Corps, I've just been super drained of just like all creativity and everything, because, wanting to die and whatnot. And then, so lately I've been trying to get super back ingrained to doing the whole punk thing and trying to get guitar back and all. So I've been like, okay, I'm gonna get my life back, and so I've just been listening to like Adolescence and Vandals records and shit, and trying to get all stoked back into stuff. But but my favorite thing going on right now is when Trump got elected, myself and a lot of people on the internet were like, oh, we have a new era of president with a low approval rating. That means there's gonna be some amazing punk bands coming along soon. And, well, I mean, that's how the first real wave of hardcore kind of happened. It's not the sole reason, but I mean, Reagan's presidency really did stem like the Dead Kennedys and the Bad Brains, and so, So it's one of those things of like, there's a lot of great punk bands coming out right now, and hardcore is, you know, the scene's fucking toxic, and the kids do judo in the pit for some reason, but it's kicking out a lot of great music right now, though. And
I mean, yeah, I mean, they're not hardcore. I mean, technically, they're you know, generally speaking, they're not hardcore. But I mean, you know, you take fucking Slipknot for instance. I mean, people are literally getting killed in these mosh pits. Literally getting killed. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, that's pretty intense.
I don't know, man. It's pretty amazing. You know.
No, it you know, it's like. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, no, because I was gonna say, like, I'm stoked with the idea of like little indie, you know, music scenes popping up everywhere and growing stronger because there's like a new renaissance and everything. But at the same time, there's not that many people innovating, and I'm not sure if that's because we're at a point where it's hard to innovate or if people are just doing the same old shit. So it's, you know, it's pretty interesting. I heard a band, they're from Boston, they're called Exit Order, and they're like a more like classic punk band, and they have like a sweet like female vocalist that really knows how to write a fucking harmony, but they're like amazing and have a really old school, really like MIDI trebly fucking sound to them, but they're amazing. And you know, in bands like and you know, most of the time now, you know, you've made it as a band when you make it into memes, you know, like Knocked Loose became like the fucking laughing stock of the internet for a couple days. And
oh yeah, for sure.
And I was like, but you know, man, like I understand that it's, you know, hardcore played with a 7-string, and it's super, you know, the metalcore denial meme with Knocked Loose made me fucking laugh my ass off, because it's kind of true. Because we don't like to acknowledge that bands like, you know, Asking Alexandria and Attack ever happened with the metalcore thing, but for some reason we're super willing to let some random kids from Oldham County, Kentucky or whatever with like the high-pitched voices yell arf arf and then 7-string down tune into a fucking mic, and it's like hardcore as fuck, you know. So it's an interesting evolution, you know, and it's very interesting. But then again, it's also, you know, it's hard to make.
I was a big Alexandria and Attack fan. I can't, you know, I can't argue. Can't even deny it. It happened.
Yeah. Well, you know, a lot of us were, man, and I was never like a super into metalcore guy, but I definitely was and still am like a deathcore dude, like Suicide Silence and Carnifex and stuff.
Oh, for sure.
I'm still super into them, but I definitely had some some metalcore moments though, like Chunk, No Captain Chunk or whatever. Like I fucking love that.
Oh yeah, man.
Like 9th grade, you know. But it's an interesting time for music, man, because there's a lot of good shit out there, but it feels like the only way to get out and find these new bands is to go on like, you know, Bandcamp, because, you know. Well, Metallica put out a new record this year, for example.
Great.
And yeah, and I actually loved it, and everyone was like, "Oh, it's just Metallica trying to stay relevant." Well, I was like, Metallica doesn't have to try to stay relevant. They're fucking Metallica.
Exactly.
You know, it's like find a, you know, a person on the earth that doesn't know who fucking Metallica is, and I'll be like, okay. But other than that, it was a great record though, because they went back to a more older, you know, sound for them, and the riffs and things are a little different, which is weird because there for a couple years everyone wanted to be like super like sterile, clean sounding on their guitars and stuff as far as gain and all. You know, like people like Steve Vai and things. I'm like, yeah, I mean they're super talented, but it's like where's there's hardly any emotion in it. Yeah.
There's no character, you know? And, I mean, going back to the Metallica record a little bit, you know, that kind of reminded me a little bit of more of like And Justice for All mixed with Master of Puppets. It really had that kind of vibe to it, you know? It was a great record. Really kicked ass.
No, I loved it, man. Like, Spit Out the Bone or whatever had like one of the best metal riffs I heard like all year, you know? And... You know, and it happened to be Metallica, and for some reason people are like, oh, it's Metallica, better shit on it. Kind of like when Slipknot put out their last album after Paul Gray died, and everyone was like, oh, let's just fucking shit all over it before it even comes out. Blah. And I was like, okay, but you're the fucking problem with America.
The first chapter was just kind of okay. It was.
Well, no, I mean, definitely if something comes out and it's a shit album, call it a shit album, but don't, like, shit on things before it even happens.
That's the problem with the internet, man. As soon as something new is about to come out from something that they all know and love, if it's not the same thing, like let's take a record, for instance. If it doesn't sound exactly the same as their first record, it sucks.
Oh, yeah, dude. Well, you should see some of the haters on the new Queens of the Stone Age album, Villains or whatever.
Man, I loved that album.
Dude, it's great. I pre-ordered it so I could get in the pre-sale for the tour for tickets and things and all like that. So I got it on vinyl when it came out and whatnot. And it's a great album. I really enjoyed it. People just love to shit on things that, it reminds me of like black metal fans that are like, this isn't cult enough. It doesn't sound like fucking, you recorded it through a cassette soaked in piss, like, it's not pure enough.
Yeah, right?
I hate that. Yeah.
I mean, but metal is the hardest genre to actually feel at home in. I mean, you got metal elitists just everywhere, in every single genre. They're always comparing other bands to other bands. Like, let's take, I mean, this is probably probably a poor example, but let's take like, Asking Alexandria doesn't sound like Attack, or Metallica doesn't sound like Megadeth, or Megadeth doesn't sound like Metallica. It's like, come on.
It's like, no, I mean, they're very similar, but they're also very different in their own ways. Fucking Metallica and Megadeth is the ultimate, I feel like, it's the ultimate casual versus metal elitist conversation.
Absolutely.
Because the only people that are sitting around like, Megadeth is fucking the best out of the top four, Dave Mustaine is amazing, are elitist tryhards. Not that Megadeth is an amazing band, and I do believe Dave Mustaine's an amazing guitar player, all that stuff. Are they better than Metallica, though? That's super objective and a great debate, and it's really based on taste, because after a while, when you get down to it, Metallica is a thrash band at heart if you like the older stuff, and then they're kind of just like a newer age metal band if you like the newer stuff. But Megadeth, if you like Megadeth, they have one sound. That's what you're going to get out of Megadeth. It's going to be super fast. It's going to be a bunch of like scales, So if you like more speed metal, that's your thing, I guess, really with Megadeth. But
that's one of those things. One of the reasons why I kind of appreciate, maybe not really appreciate, but kind of, I guess, maybe prefer Megadeth a little bit more, because they've always stuck to that Megadeth sound. Always. Like, as soon as you hear Megadeth, you know it's Megadeth. And Metallica, I mean, it's kind of the same thing, but at the same time, like when the Black Album hit, and I know, I don't hate any of Metallica's records. I definitely don't. Like, there's not a lot of stuff not to like about Metallica. But Megadeth is just Megadeth. They haven't changed anything. They've always been themselves, done what they wanted to do with each and every one of their records.
Oh yeah, man. I mean, they've, especially Megadeth has like never let up, and I think it's because of the whole Dave Mustaine getting kicked out of Metallica thing that is really what makes people try hards with the Megadeth argument. They're like, oh, well, they brought Kirk Hammett and he sucks. All he does is use a wah. And I'm like, I mean, yeah, but he used a wah to sell a couple million records, So I don't really see what your argument is there. And not that success is indicative of a great band, but it's a good indicator,
Absolutely. And, I mean, Kirk Hammett, I don't think he really took on the wah too hard until maybe around the Black Album came around. I mean, obviously he's always used it, but I don't think he really utilized it to that signature Kirk Hammett wah that you hear in your mind until the Black Album came around.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think it really completely took over until later. Well, I mean, here's the thing, though, too. Metallica, early on, if you listen to, like, Kill 'Em All, that's a totally different sound in of itself. You're, like, flirting with just a little bit more heavier hardcore at that time, and it was around, I mean, shit, Kill 'Em All came out in what, like 84? So,
Yeah.
I mean, what, like Motorhead and, all of those guys are already well established and fine, so that's kind of the thing too. And, that's a band that I feel is crucially underappreciated, even though now that Lemmy's dead, everyone is like, oh, Motorhead's the shit, but...
That's one thing that really just that really grinds my gears about about music. It really hurts about anything that anybody's art is actually recognized after they die.
Yeah. And here's the thing though, well, like for example, like David Bowie died, right? But he dropped Black Star or whatever, like right before that. And I didn't know David Bowie had dropped an album until after he died. And I was like, how the fuck did that happen? Like, how did a David Bowie album not get out there, and be a huge deal? But
I mean, I've got David Bowie's, first couple of records on vinyl when Stevie Ray Vaughan was filling in on guitar for him, along with that other guy from that other '80s band, Stevie Ray Vaughan, hats off to that guy. He's definitely for sure one of my absolute all-time idols, and hats off to that guy again. But David Bowie was great, but again, he's one of those artists that when he died, I thought the earth was about to fucking, like, I thought the whole world was about to end. Like, never heard anything about David Bowie from anybody until after he died.
Right.
And then all of a sudden everybody's, oh, David Bowie, I was the biggest fan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, definitely. The one that got me with that was Prince.
Absolutely.
Because Prince is fucking amazing. If you watch when he played guitar at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame on that version of While My Guitar Gently Weeps that he did with not George Harrison, goddamn, Tom Petty, another dude just fucking died. And all those, that shit is amazing. That's some of like the best, just like purely from the heart guitar playing I've ever heard was Princeton. But then again, before Prince died, no one was like, Raspberry Beret is the fucking greatest jam of all time,
Yeah. No.
Not that Raspberry Beret is not the greatest jam of all time, but no one was saying that before he died.
Right. And that bothers the hell out of me. The dude was absolutely amazing guitar player. Now, I'm not gonna sit here and say, oh, I'm not gonna be one of those guys that's all like, oh, Prince. I was never a huge fan of Prince. I recognize that he was arguably one of the greatest musicians that ever lived, when you consider that he could play damn near every single instrument known to man. But, I'm not a huge fan. I'm still not. But, that sucks that he died. I mean, he's absolutely had one of the, biggest impacts on music in the modern day, like, as far as, it's crazy. But, speaking of Tom Petty, and since we're about some of what we're about here, conspiracy theories, the day Tom Petty died, they said he died, what was it, like 2 or 3 different times? But every time they kept, oh, never mind, he's not dead. Like, how do you mistake somebody being dead, but they're not dead?
I think that's more of websites and news sources wanting to be the people to get the scoop and not actually giving a shit what the content of the article is.
Yeah, that's true. But
he's definitely dead as fuck.
Just for the sake of it, it's the Illuminati. It's
right.
They thought they sacrificed him to Satan, but they were sadly mistaken. The knife actually went into the floor by accident 2 or 3 different times until they finally got it right.
Right. That's, I don't know, man. That's pretty, because the Illuminati being Tom Petty is kind of funny to think about. Like, how do we establish world domination? we must use Tom Petty's greatest hits. Like, I don't know. I don't know what. That's like presidential candidates when they try to be hip and use like Jay-Z and shit as like their campaign songs and stuff. It's like it doesn't make it any better, man. I feel like that's what the Illuminati is like, because the Illuminati is actually all these crazy like world leaders like the Rothschild and like the president and stuff. I feel like none of them are sitting around like, we must put images in Lil Wayne videos. Like, I really don't think that's a thing they do, unless they really are that good and all this shit with politicians and all is just a facade and they're actually really intelligent and, aren't fucking tools. That would be pretty amazing. That would be the biggest thing to me. I'm willing to believe that there's some kind of a secret world controlling organization. What I'm not willing to believe that it's those people that are doing it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you know what they say, you tell a lie, or, well, actually, Hitler said this, honestly, and, if you tell a lie often enough, people will believe it.
Oh, yeah, no, it's true, man.
That's true.
Yeah. Well, that's like, it's true, man, and that's like when Michael Jackson died, for example. Everybody wanted to drop the whole, like, child molesting thing. I was like, people don't say the same shit about you for 20 years and it not have some truth in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the fucking Whitney Houston doing drug things and stuff like that. I'm like, people don't say the same shit about you for 20 years unless there's some kind of a nugget of truth there. Because like when a rumor comes out of, so-and-so sleeping with so-and-so, it'll be big for a couple days and it goes away, And then, unless you're a Kardashian, in which case you make $1 zillion off a sex tape. But, I don't understand, man. It's like there are definitely lies that have been perpetuated through like long times, but most of the time when something is perpetuated and linked like that, it's more of a misunderstanding versus an actual just like lie, like Santa Claus, like Santa Claus is technically a lie that happens, over and over again. But then you grow up and you're like, oh, that's bullshit,
And again, speaking of conspiracies, being the huge Alice in Chains fan that I am, hats off to Alice in Chains. After Chester Bennington died, there was a conspiracy that surfaced. Now, prepare for some just mind-numbing weirdness. Okay, like this is just I can't put this into words. There was a conspiracy that Chester Bennington was actually Lane Staley.
How the fuck was that?
Supposedly, basically what they were trying to say was they both had a tattoo in the same place that looked relatively similar. However, they didn't really look similar at all because Lane Staley's tattoo was a skull, but Chester Bennington's tattoo was a fish.
Wow.
Yeah, that's dumb. That's dumb. Oh, that's right up there with the flat Earth people. That's pretty wild. Now, I did hear one day, I can't remember, it was like right after Chester Bennington died and Chris Cornell had died not too long before that, There's a lot of conspiracies around that because they were friends and whatnot, and they say that, I can't remember, I think it was either Chris Cornell or Chester Bennington. One of them had like wounds in the back of their head and stuff.
Chris Cornell.
Is that it? Was it Chris Cornell? Yeah, and there was a lot of talk going on with that about who would have suddenly killed off Chester Bennington and Chris Cornell. And that's some pretty Alex Jonesy shit where like the pedophile underlord world wanted to kill Chester Bennington and Chris Cornell because they were starting some kind of fund to stop pedophiles or something. That's like one of those wild internet conspiracies I was feeling when you delve deep enough into it. But
they were actually about to release a list of supposed actual pedophiles that were politicians and musicians and stuff like that.
Right.
And apparently, since they were such good friends, they were both working on this project together. The thing that they both have in common is they were both molested when they were younger, when they were kids. Mm-hmm. So, they both decided to work together, make their own fundraisers, and try and basically do their research and kind of find out, well, who are, the big name pedophiles up there. And they were going to release this list or whatever, and it just so happens that when Chris Cornell died, which was in Detroit, he had wounds to the back of the head and wounds in the rib cage. And then they want to say that he hung himself. Now, this dude, keep in mind, this dude was like 6 foot something, and apparently he hung himself off the top of like a door. Which, if you're 6 foot something, I can't see you hanging yourself from a door. It's like, that's kind of one of those conspiracies that I actually do personally think is a conspiracy. Like, I do think he was murdered. Kind of the same thing with Chester Bennington. I think the whole thing with them people saying that, oh, Chester Bennington killed himself because his last album wasn't very well received. He's been one of the biggest damn bands in the world. Like, what reason, if he just because one of his albums wasn't well received by most of his fans, doesn't give him a good enough reason to just say, oh, you know what, this album wasn't well received, I'm just gonna off myself.
Yep, fuck it, better kill myself. Like,
exactly. That doesn't make sense to me. Like, think about that for a second. We're making millions of dollars. This dude is probably easily a millionaire.
Oh yeah,
he's got, multiple houses around the United States. Before he died, he put like, I can't remember exactly how much it was. It was I want to say it was like $600,000 or more or something like that he left to his wife and kids before he died. Which, I mean, again, that could be his way of leaving like a quote-unquote suicide note. But then again, if you're on tour and stuff all the time and you're constantly doing stuff with music, then it doesn't seem very unlikely in my mind for, like, if I was in his shoes all the time, to think, hey, my wife and kids probably need some money, or hey, I have a bunch of money, here's some money, for his wife and kids, $1,000, here you go, not a big deal. Like, but to me that just, I don't know, maybe I'm just some conspiracy theorist or whatever, but
I don't know, man. It's if anything, those those are the types of things that seem most legit, because someone killing you as to not release a bunch of information they don't want to is a lot more believable than like Paul McCartney being dead for the last like 4 Beatles albums. It's that's one of those things that's a little bit more believable for sure. I could definitely see how that would actually happen in real life. I mean, people get killed for shit like that all the time. So,
absolutely. So speaking of the Beatles, are you into Primus at all?
Yeah, I like Primus.
Then obviously you can agree with me when I say hats off to Les Claypool. That guy is a majestic human being, absolutely. So he actually has a project with John Lennon's son.
I think I heard something about that. I haven't listened to it, but I want to say I heard something about that, because I want to say for like Record Store Day or something, there was like a special release or some shit.
The Claypool Lennon Delirium. It is absolutely... I honestly think it's the best music either of them have ever put out.
Really?
Absolutely. It's kind of... Honestly, what can you say when Les Claypool is involved with something? It's just interesting. It's very different. Kind of has that 60s, 70s psychedelic rock. Definitely a very, very psychedelic rocky. So definitely something to check out there. It's been one of my favorite things to listen to as of late.
Yeah, I'll definitely check that out, because I'm a big Primus guy. I like Primus. Sailing the Seas of Cheese was, a great album when I was younger that I used to definitely turn to. That and Pork Soda or whatever.
Oh, Pork Soda's that album is perfection. Absolutely.
And I fuck with fuck with weird things. And Dan the Automator is involved with Primus, so it's a cool little tie-in there with Primus and Gorillas and Del the Funky Homo Sapien. A lot of cool tie-ins there together with the weird thing going on with Primus, and Buckethead is in there too.
Oh, absolutely.
So that's another guy that's somehow tied to a million different bands and projects. I really just want to see the process of how the fuck Buckethead got involved with Guns N' Roses there for a while. But then again, that was like the trashiest period of Guns N' Roses ever, probably. So.
Oh man, that was all bad. That wasn't even Guns N' Roses. That was just Axl Rose being Axl Rose.
Right? Yeah, like DJ Ashba played guitar for Guns N' Roses then.
Oh jeez, but so just to kind of change it up a little bit, so the Canadian and I were talking the other day, and we managed. It all kind of started with this story. Back when microwaves first came out, right? Okay, when microwaves first came out. There was a lady, an older lady, who gave her dog a bath. Okay, and after she gave her dog a bath, she decided that she wanted to quickly dry off her dog. Now, the old lady decides to put the dog in the microwave.
Right.
And needless to say, the dog exploded in the microwave. So, I'm not really sure where the conversation spawned off of this, but we started to talk about what would it be like if there was a microwave, okay, where it's kind of like a genie, you know? You write down something on a piece of paper, right? And let's say you want like a new guitar. You write down whatever that guitar is on that piece of paper, you put it in the microwave, you press start, and that guitar just magically appears in a guitar case in your room or in front of you or whatever. So if you had access to something like this, what would you write down on this piece of paper and stick in the microwave?
Write down and put it in the microwave. But see, like, what are the limits of the microwave, though? Like, is there, like, could you just write a piece of paper in there and be like $1 billion, or, or is there any kind of, like, limits there? Or?
No limits. Anything you want. Anything. I mean, even if you wanted to wish for a certain scenario to happen in your life. I mean, just, what...
Interesting.
Any.
Okay, so I would ask for money. I'm not sure what amount, because $1 billion is almost too much, because then you have to somehow physically hide $1 billion, because you can't just go put that in a bank, or you'd get arrested. So, So I don't know. Definitely a large amount of money, enough to be a big deal. That I would ask for a '59 Les Paul. I would write for a piece of paper to, like, meet my future wife or something, I guess. I would write a piece of paper to somehow get me out of the Marine Corps with an honorable discharge. I'm trying to think. I would write a piece of paper for a sick flying car.
Hell yeah.
It's fucking sweet. I want an actual Marty McFly hoverboard. Like an actual
Oh,
hoverboard.
yeah!
Not that stupid shit with two wheels. Oh, yeah, dude, for sure. Yeah, and the fucking Nikes from Back to the Future, for that matter. The ones that, like, lace themselves and it's like, they fill them up.
Man.
Yeah, like Air Mags or whatever. Nike makes those, but they're not actually like the ones in the movie. So I want actual, like, Back to the Future Nike Air Mags.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm trying to think. What else would I use that on? Sweet hoverboard, flying car. That's pretty much like all of my ambition in life is flying cars and hoverboard. One of those sweet 20th anniversary PS4s. It was gray and looked like a PlayStation 1.
Oh, yeah.
One of those. Yeah, fucking rat. I don't know why. Like, right now, it's like a fucking sick PS4. Like, I can get anything in the world. I want a sick PS4. I already have a PS4, but I want an even sicker PS4.
Oh, you're gonna have me later.
Right.
Hey man, if you can afford it, why not?
Right.
Yeah, man. I mean, you got a magic microwave that literally grants your wishes. I mean, you know, you get anything.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I mean, what's to lose here? This is like a great Twilight Zone episode, honestly. Where, like, you know, I feel like that's a thing. I feel like there's a Twilight Zone episode about a magic toaster oven or something that just never made it to TV.
You know, you gotta, like, or like, you know, you open, like, instead of a piece of paper, so you had to, like, open the door and, like, stick your face in the microwave and scream at the like, your lunch. What you would want, like, fucking, I want a Honda Civic SI 1999! And, you know, some shit like, you gotta speak the most slow, loudest, clean tone you can possibly speak in a southern accent.
Right. Well, no, like, there's got to be some kind of a ramification for the magic microwave, though, because if you just get these things and just nothing happens negative, then, I mean, it's just, like, too good, you know? Like, it's got to be, like, you can have $1 billion, but you have to take a year off your life or some shit like that, you know? Like, that's got to be, like, like that type of thing. It's got to be there's got to be some kind of a draw there. Otherwise, you're just like, well, fuck. I'll just be like, hey, magic microwave, can I get, like, a large pizza with some fucking, you know, like I would just never buy anything ever again. And I'd be like, magic microwave, I'm low in shampoo and conditioner, hook it up. Like, that's what I would do. I don't know. That's exactly
Like, no,
what the fuck I would do.
You lose a loved one every time you use it.
Oh my
shit.
god.
But you don't know which loved one it is.
Oh,
Jesus.
oh, that went dark real quick.
Dude, okay,
That would
I
be
was
a-
gonna say that.
That's a good plot. That's a pretty good movie plot. There was a movie like that where this guy he could get like $1 million if he just pressed this button, but some random person in the world would die or whatever. I forget what the fuck. There's a movie like that.
That sounds
Oh, I
familiar,
think
yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see, movie where a guy press button.
That shit works, man. I do that all the time.
But random person will die. No, I do this all the time. I'll be like, what's that song that's like do.
Hell yeah,
Speaking
man.
I was trying to, while I'm finding this, that's literally what I did one time because I was trying to find Tom's Diner by Suzanne Vega, but I didn't know that's what the song was called, where it's like do 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 or whatever. It's 6 Yeah. So by the way, that's Tom's Diner by Suzanne Vega, but I look like a fucking idiot because I typed what's the song that goes do 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 into Google
Beautiful.
and
Does that actually
by the way,
work?
it's Tom's Diner. So it pulled up like a forum because people were like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" and somebody was like, "I think he means Tom's Diner by Suzanne Vega," and I was like, "No fucking way!" Like, that's actually it.
That's amazing. That is humanity at its finest.
It really
Man,
is.
God bless the
Yep.
internet.
Okay. So the movie I was looking for is called The Box. That's creative. Came out in 2009. It's based on the 1970 short story Button Button by Richard Matheson. Fun fact. Let's see. So, it's like doing the whole thing. But basically, yeah, this dude can press a button and he gets $1 million, but someone randomly in the world will die. So that's pretty cool. There's apparently, I was going to like read the plot on Wikipedia because I figured it was that simple. But it starts with in December 1976, financially strapped after couple Arthur, a NASA engineer, and Norma Lewis find a package on their doorstep. I'm like, okay, this is already way more intense than I thought it was. So I kind of want to find this movie on like Netflix or something now. Warner Brothers, I expect my royalty fees for plugging your fucking movie super hard. It stars Cameron Diaz, apparently. So that's, you know.
Oh boy, Cameron Diaz. Here we go.
Oh boy.
Yeah, sick.
Oh,
Yeah,
boy.
dude. I love Sweet Home. No, I don't even think I can name another Cameron Diaz movie off the top of my head right now. Other than Sweet Home Alabama. What is
Go ahead.
Bad Teacher.
Oh shit! Was she? Yeah, she was in Bad Teacher.
Yeah, man.
Okay. Yeah, that's probably the only other Cameron Diaz movie. Let's see. Yeah, no. That's awesome though. Yeah, no. The Magic Microwave is definitely. That'd be a great like serial TV show episode where like you can use the Magic Microwave, but a random loved one dies. You have like this super serious plot where like the dude finally does it. He's like, "Fuck it, we'll find out." It'd be like $1 billion, but it's like super serious, and he's trying to figure out who it killed, and it kills like his dog or something. That'd be, like,
I was just about to say dog too. Oh my god.
Dude, I wouldn't be able to handle that.
That'd be super gnarly. That'd be a great TV show episode.
Okay. Since we're still on the plot of the Magic Microwave, Canadian, what would you personally ask for?
Oh yeah, true.
Oh man, I'm simple, okay? Like, just give me like a bunch of money and like a nice house and just a really good computer, and I'm good. Like,
Well, God, no one told me we could be realistic in this. Jeez, my bad.
I mean, maybe a car, but I mean,
Hey, see, you're not looking at this the right way. You gotta take into perspective. This microwave is right in front of you right now. You can have anything you want. Anything. And if you're gonna tell me you just want a house, some money, I'm good. I'm good. You know,
Well, so here's the thing, though. Do you have to kill a random loved one per item? So if you want like a house, that's like your aunt, and then if you want like a car, is that like your uncle or something? You know, is it like every item is a loved one, or can you be like, Magic Microwave, can I get a car, a house, and $1 million? And it's like, sure, but I gotta kill your dad. You're like, fuck.
Oh fuck.
Like I don't.
that's a good point.
Also, when you get the things from the microwave, do they just appear in the room, or is the microwave like go to 123 Fake Street and you have a house there? You know, like I don't.
Yeah. I mean, I think if you were asking for something like a house or a car or something, then you would have to be pretty specific, at least like about the house. Like you would have to say, oh, I want this house on this street and this location or whatever. And then like for a car, you'd have to say like what make and model and all that stuff you want, and then it just kind of appears in your driveway or outside your house on the street or something.
Okay, because I was gonna say that would be a funny little stipulation. Some dude's like, "Fucking yeah, Magic Microwave! I want like, you know, I want a new car," and then it just drops through like his living room. He's like, "Fuck!"
Oh.
Yeah, it like drops through his living room. Fucking kills his cat. He's like, "What the hell?"
Oh.
He's like, okay, so does the cat count as my loved one, or did the car just crush it? Because that's not fair.
Oh, that's just a double whammy.
Yeah.
Collateral damage, no take backs.
Right, but on the bright side, you have a Veyron in your living room now, so that's pretty sweet.
Yeah. Good luck getting it out.
Right. That's exactly what would happen to me in that scenario. It'd be like, oh, sick, Magic Microwave. Yeah, dude.
Thanks,
And then-
but fuck.
Right, yeah. Like, next thing I know, there's like a whole other house dropping through one side of my actual house. My fucking neighbors are just like watching across the street. And just like there's just a cloud dropping a house into your house. Like, fuck. Now that's some Illuminati shit. Magic Microwaves that drop houses into your house.
Oh my god.
See, now, if I was gonna ask for anything out of this so-called magical microwave, okay, like, speaking of the magical microwave, we gotta come up with a name with that too. But if I was gonna ask for something, I would be the guy where you could literally ask for anything. You know, you want like as far as cars go, like you want a Lamborghini or like some kind of super exotic car, I would be the guy that would just write down on a piece of paper, hey, I want a 1999 Honda Civic EM1 SI. That's all I want, because VTEC, man. You got to go with the VTEC. Like
simple pleasures, man.
I'm telling you, people, everybody wants to knock the VTEC, but man, I tell you what. No, I want a 1999 Civic EM1 blue, but with the Type R engine swap, with the VTEC. I'm happy. That's all I need in life. That is my dream car. That is 100% my dream car. That's all I need. Then I would get I don't know, my Jerry Cantrell guitar and my Jerry Cantrell amp and my Jerry Cantrell wall pedal. I'm happy.
But here's the thing, though. You have to verify. So, is your mom randomly dying a horrific death worth a Jerry Cantrell wah pedal, though? Or is that it's a pretty...
I think it would have to depend on probably, man, we really got to come up with some rules for this microwave, man.
It's got some loopholes.
Yeah, we need to work out those loopholes. But so you get this magic microwave, and I guess it would have to depend on what the item is that you're specifically asking for, and the price tag on said item. So let's say if it costs over let's say $5,000, it's going to cost you a loved one. But if it's something under $5,000, then bam. But then again, you could just keep asking for $4,000 over and over and over again.
Right. Well, here's the thing. Does the microwave talk or anything? Because
oh, absolutely.
Okay, so I guess the microwave, you're just okay, I'm gonna put a hot pocket in, and then one day the microwave just there is no microwave, there is only Vordo or some shit, and you're yeah. You're like, what the fuck? It's like I may grant you wishes, but a loved one must die. You're like, this is what the fuck? Okay, actually, you know what? This is the type of thing that would happen to me, because I would be like, yeah, dude, I'm gonna throw this freaking Jimmy Dean breakfast bowl in the microwave, then my microwave would start talking and be like, I can kill your loved ones for cash.
Kill your loved ones for cash right now.
It's that's an odd deal to strike there, microwave.
877 cash now.
Pretty much.
Microwave made 5,000. Loved ones for wishes.
Right.
I can't.
Yeah, the choice is yours. No, dude, I want a fortune teller toaster or something, pretty...
Yeah, it's like report is yours.
Come in a bundle.
We have to write a plot. Yeah, no, it's like an Amazon, it's like a cursed Amazon listing. Some guy's just sacrificing goats in his kitchen, and they remodel his house and sell it.
Jeez.
Hey man, this microwave's fucking weird. Does your microwave talk? Because mine says I can have a Lamborghini if my aunt dies. I don't understand.
Oh my god.
So, Lamborghini for Uncle Larry.
Right. Worth it.
Is it really that tough of a pill to swallow?
Dude. Well, that's like the people that say money can't buy happiness, and I'm like, that's false, because I've never been sad on a jet ski. I've never been sad. I've never been sad driving a new car. I've never been sad when I could just buy food whenever I want from wherever.
Yeah.
I've never been sad paying bills on time every time.
Yeah, man.
I can honestly say that being able to, okay, so if I could honestly buy food from anywhere, any time of day, I would be happy. I want Taco Bell. Then I got Taco Bell. If I could just have any kind of food from any place I want at any given moment, I could honestly say I would be happy. Like, I would have
Yeah.
nothing to really complain about, except for, hey, I don't have the exact guitar I want. Oh,
Right.
boo fucking boo, I got food from anywhere I want. You know, so there's really not much to complain about if you can get food from any given place at any given time.
Oh, no, dude. But see, like, I would be the one that would mess around and be like, you know, I would like get drunk and like go ask the microwave for a pizza, and it would like kill my dog, and I'd be like, oh, like shit.
But like, what if like from the microwave, if you ask for food, since it's actually conventionally supposed to make food, it'll give you food for free. So like anything else, it's like, oh, you know, I gotta take a loved one, I gotta take your dog, I gotta take your cat, I gotta take your lizard, or your grandmother, your mom, your dad, you know, whatever.
Nah, that'd be fucking tight, dude. That'd be super down for a microwave that like spits out whatever food you want, but every now and then it asks you if you want to do some like arcane dark art shit. Like I'd be pretty okay with that.
Would you
It's
like
worth it.
house with goat?
You can sacrifice a goldfish for that PS4.
Yeah, right. No, dude. Like, I'm willing to deal with a random sketchy microwave if I can get free food all the time. Like, I feel like that's, you know, I feel like that's
Just
a
a
fair.
sketchy microwave.
Or no, like in order to get this microwave, like hypothetically speaking, the microwave is actually like Satan or something. So you have to like sell your soul to the microwave in order to actually fulfill your wishes or whatever. You know, like if you sell your soul to me, I can grant all your wishes. You can have the fame and fortune and whatever. You know. So imagine selling your soul to a fucking microwave.
Sounds like a hella bomb way to go, man.
Dude,
Yeah,
that's like that's like something you would think up or like wish of if you were on like acid or just smoked like 3 bong hits or something. Like
3, dude. That's my usual. What are you talking about? 3.
okay, 5 or 6.
Yeah, maybe.
We'll say 6.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay,
Yeah,
10
maybe.
bong.
10 bong hits deep. I'm selling my soul to a microwave that'll fucking give me $1 million if I kill my aunt. Like,
Now that's accurate.
yeah, that's believable. Yeah.
10 bong rips in? Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, 10 bongers, and I'm selling my soul to a microwave. Oh, jeez.
10 bong rips in. That's fucking. That should be a song. 10 bong rips in.
I mean, dude, we should totally do like a thing on that one day. We should just get together and write a song about 10 bong reps in about selling your soul to a microwave. You know,
Oh my god.
dude, that would be super gnarly. That'd be a sick imagine being in like a hardcore punk band or something and actually having a song about selling your soul to a microwave. 10 bong hits in.
That sounds super plausible. Is the thing? Like, it's-
Yeah, I know.
10 bong rips in, selling my soul to a microwave.
Right. Dude, like I'm
Yeah,
telling you,
yeah.
like I was gonna write this album about the nuke, because I live in Hawaii or whatever, so it's like a huge deal here because we're like, well, if North Korea launches the nuke, we're fucked. So that's like our thing around here. We like tested like nuclear sirens and stuff for the first time since like the Cold War here not too long ago. Actually, last Friday.
Damn.
And so that's been my thing. Was I was like, dude, sick. Let's like write a sweet album about the bomb and fucking
Oh my god.
and like
Yeah, dude, and then you can make the bonus song the microwave song.
yeah,
10 bong
dude, for
hits in.
sure. I just gotta come up with a sweet metal band name. I haven't been in a metal band in years, so like I need a sweet metal band name and name it like the Flash Before Darkness or something. And
I mean, we actually we came up with a 6 name. We were actually creating a logo for you know our thing here. Canadian Weasel. We came up with a sick, some album art for our band. Yeah, we're gonna start a band. It's gonna be called the Canadian Weasel. First record is gonna drop next year sometime. Yeah, it's actually like, imagine like a normal death metal. Just super, just balls to the wall heavy, right? And like, I started working on some riffs, songs already. It's pretty brutal. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. It is really, really, it's interesting, really.
Oh yeah, we need some brutal shit. When I listen to stuff, I like to feel like I'm trapped in a well while it's raining and the water's up to my neck. It's brutal. And kids are like throwing rocks from the top. It's gnarly. That's how I like to feel when I listen to metal.
Damn.
I mean, to be fair, same, man. Same, I mean, you're not listening to metal, right, if you don't picture yourself sitting at the bottom of a well in the dark. Like, like imagine listening to the Black Dahlia Murder, but you're picturing yourself, like, on Cloud 9 and, with rainbows and unicorns in the air and, all that.
Nah, bro, Black Dahlia Murder, trapped in a well, but you're fighting like monsters are coming up out of the mud at the bottom, and you're like, fucking, and like, yeah, for sure. That's how I envision Black Dahlia Murder, like every time I listen to it.
Oh, the Black Dahlia Murder is perfect.
Yeah, Black Dahlia Murder is a shit.
So that's our album art right there. It's interesting.
Fucking rad.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, man. So, first record's dropping next year, guys. Keep an eye out for that one.
Oh my god.
My new punk band I'm resurrecting from high school pretty much is Captain Used Car Sales and the Payday Loans. And
oh yeah.
It's gonna be fucking rad. We're gonna play every shitty bar in the country, by God.
Yeah, dude. So what kind of stuff do you guys write?
Dude, I made a Bandcamp for myself a while back just to upload random shit on there if I wanted to. So my name is now reserved on Bandcamp, you fucking squares out there in internet land.
Hell yeah!
So don't even think about it. I guess I need to make a Payday Loan Bandcamp too. For some other nerd buys it. Because I was in the Bone Daddies for years. Years. The Bone Daddies were a real thing. Years.
Oh, yeah. I was in that briefly.
Yeah.
It never. Yeah.
And then randomly this year, the What Do You Know About Ska Punk page posts a link to a band named the Bone Daddies. And not only did they have the same name as us, they had been around since 2003, and they were a ska horror punk band. And I was like, motherfucker, that's too convenient to not just be a sign from God. So we were like, what else should we be named? Let's take what we were, because in high school we were Captain Used Car Sales and the Magic Mufflers. And Captain Beefheart had one of his bands was like the Magic Glass Packs or some shit. So we decided to switch away from the Mufflers, and so we were like sick. So Captain Used Car Sales and the Payday Loans. So I'm gonna make really angsty like back patches that just say Payday Loans on them in like that weird like old English font that all the hardcore bands are using now. Like fucking.
Oh yeah, man.
Put it across my shoulder blades and shit. Be super angsty. Oh, who is that? You don't know. Super rare.
Man, I'm still trying to come up with, well, not really trying to come up with, but I'm working on some new material too. So I mean, never know. One of these days we're gonna make it.
Things happen quickly in the music world. One day you're like, I can't fucking think of anything, and then the next day you're like, I've written 6 songs.
Dude, that's exactly what happened to me, man. I started I kind of went through this weird cycle a while back where I was awake. I would wake up at like 8 to like 11 p.m. and then I would just be up all night and then sleep during the day like a fucking vampire, right? And eventually I ended up getting on this normal schedule. I mean, I used to have this thing where I felt more comfortable writing at night, and I guess that's still kind of I don't know. I guess it's more like I'm starting to find myself as a musician in a way, and I started getting myself on a regular schedule, and I was waking up at like 6 or 7 a.m. and then going to bed at 9 or 10 at night. And I woke up the first night that I finally got myself on a normal schedule. Wrote 3 songs that morning at like 6:30 in the morning.
I don't know. I'm a night guy, man. I'm a night guy. Every time when I used to drink, used to get super fucked up at night. Anytime I'd be like, hey, I want to listen to all the Misfits albums and fucking singles and compilations and shit. Did it at nighttime. I don't know why. I'm just that way.
At night.
I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah, at night.
Well, speaking of nighttime, this has actually been going quite a lot longer than I actually expected it to. This is actually going really well.
Yeah. It's been going for an hour and 23 minutes.
Oh,
yeah,
shit.
man.
All right. Well, yeah, we're a little overtime.
But that's good. It's good.
All right. So
I love how all this is going, especially considering that this is our first one. But I think we're gonna have to close it up because I think he's got to work in the morning here pretty soon. So
Yeah.
probably gonna wrap it up here pretty quick. But it's honestly, man, it's been fantastic having you on. It's awesome having you as the first guest. It went way better than I expected it to.
Yeah.
So thanks for coming on with us. Thanks for being our first guest.
Man.
And thanks for having some faith in us, man. We'd love to have you on again sometime, real soon.
Yeah, man. It was good
Yeah,
meeting you too. Like, I've heard all the stories and everything about, the band stuff and everything. I've heard a bunch of stories about it, but I never did actually meet you. But it's been a good experience.
Yeah, nice meeting you too, man. Just let me know. I'll be happy to come on whenever. As soon as I get off work out here in Hawaii, we'll somehow align the stars and get in the same time frame to get on.
Yeah.
Alright, dudes. Well, I guess
All
it's
right.
our time to sign off.
All right.
Thanks, guys. Thanks everybody for watching. Like, subscribe, good stuff, and we'll talk to you guys next.
We're out. Yeet.
Sweet.